there is a stat line in basketball history that almost nobody talks about because almost nobody has ever reached it. Michael Jordan is on that list. So are Luka Doncic, Dwayne Wade, and Cade Cunningham. Across NBA and WNBA history, only 4 players had ever accomplished it. Then, on July 17, Caitlin Clark became the 5th player to join that exclusive group, and she did it even better than the 4 record holders who came before her. In this video, we will break down exactly how she made history, along with 17 other records the Indiana Fever shattered on that incredible night. If you are cheering for Caitlin Clark, let us know in the comments by typing, Caitlin for MVP.
Always so polished. Now, the players that we just read off the screen before we sent it out for that interview, you got Jordan, Wade, Dončić, Cunningham. But there's only one player on that list, now with Caitlin Clark on there as well, that it did it in under 30 minutes.
That's crazy.
Before we get to Caitlin Clark's historic achievement, we have to start with Kelsey Mitchell because she had the entire arena on its feet. Seattle came into this game with a clear plan. They wanted to slow down Indiana's guards and force someone else to beat them. Kelsey Mitchell completely tore that plan apart in just 8 minutes. She caught fire from the opening tip, knocking down 3-pointers and getting to her favorite spots on the wing. By the end of the first quarter, she had already scored 17 points. It was not just a great quarter. It became the highest-scoring quarter by any player in Indiana Fever franchise history. Not Tamika Catchings or any of the other Fever legends. It was Kelsey Mitchell, on July 17th, setting a brand-new franchise record.
She's amazing. Like, everything that she does is absolutely incredible. It's top tier, one of the best players in this league, and I feel like every time she shoots the ball, I feel like it's going to go in, and I know she even had some, she was 13 for 25 from the field, but she even had some tough rolls there, even at the beginning of the fourth quarter. She's could have had 40 points right with me, so and she's capable of that every night, so she makes my job really easy in the backcourt.
And this was not one of those lucky nights where every shot just happened to fall. Seattle had no choice but to send extra defensive attention toward Mitchell, creating an even bigger problem because the defense was already stretched before Caitlin Clark fully got involved. Indiana now has 2 guards who can take over a game on any given night. When one starts feeding off the other's success, the numbers become almost impossible for opponents to handle. That is what should worry the rest of the league. Kelsey Mitchell is not only capable of scoring 17 points in a single quarter, but doing it as the team's second scoring option.
Now Horston, a great defender, has the Caitlin Clark assignment. Mitchell on the attack, gets to the rim and rolls it home. Maisha Hines-Allen has checked in. She has not played in the last 2 games. Going to need her tonight without Aaliyah Boston on the floor. Clark, bounce pass, Mitchell and one. This is where Indiana wants to play in transition. No whistle there. Mitchell, fire away. Oh, yeah!
That has been the story all season. Mitchell has now recorded 9 straight games with at least 3 made 3-pointers. The only player ahead of her is Caitlin Clark, who had a streak of 10 straight games back in 2024. This performance also became Mitchell's 14th career 30-point game and extended her streak of scoring in double figures to 40 straight games. That kind of consistency does not happen by chance. It is the mark of a guard who delivers every night, no matter the opponent. Even more impressive, Kelsey Mitchell now leads the entire WNBA in total points scored this season. Not just the Indiana Fever, but the whole league. So if she is doing this much damage on her own, what happens when Caitlin Clark catches fire in the same game?
I just want to spotlight and give a little shout out to Kelsey Mitchell and what she's been able to accomplish as well. 20-plus points in 9 straight games, Lisa.
Well, Kelsey I call the missile. And why? Because she's the fastest player in the WNBA with or without the ball. But when she gets downhill, she moves so well without the ball. I love when Caitlin has it. Caitlin will dribble towards her. She cuts back door. One of those passes, always getting rewarded on the backdoor pass, but also her 3-point shooting. When you look at the 2 of them, they combine for 68 points of the Fever's points. That's crazy.
Mitchell's incredible first quarter set the tone for everything that followed. By the final buzzer, her name had been written into the Indiana Fever record book 3 different ways. She set the franchise record for the most points in a single quarter, recorded the second longest streak of consecutive games with at least 3 made three-pointers, and added another 30-point performance to a career that already included 13. While Mitchell put on a shooting display from the perimeter, Indiana's frontcourt focused on battling in the paint as the Fever's two star guards continued rewriting the record book.
Who's challenging for a playoff berth? Seattle is 1-9 in clutch games this year as Mitchell gets by Holston and lays it in to level us at 80. Mitchell on a handoff from Billings. Mitchell turns on the Jets and finishes.
It was a performance almost nobody saw coming. While all the attention was on Mitchell and Clark lighting up the scoreboard, second-year player Mikayla Timpson quietly made her own piece of history on the glass. Making her first career start, she faced a tough challenge against Seattle's size with Malina and Fagbintle battling inside all night. Timpson never looked intimidated. She played a career-high 32 minutes, finishing with 8 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 steals. The biggest number, though, was her 8 offensive rebounds. That is not a normal stat line, especially for a sophomore making her first career start against one of the league's biggest front courts. At first glance, it looked like pure hustle. But once you check the Indiana Fever record books, the story becomes completely different.
Caitlin, for KK's first career start, what is it like to see the progress and growth of her as a teammate, especially against the Storm's big bigs?
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough first start. Like, they're really good. They're long, they're athletic, they're fast, they score in transition. And she stepped up to the challenge, but I thought, like, she kind of touched on it. Like, she's put in the work. Like, she's in the gym. She wants to get better. She's, willing to learn. She works with Rob, our player development, all the time. So just really proud of her, like, and the confidence she now has in herself and then everybody has in her, that she can go out there and make plays. She's probably the most athletic player I've ever played with and one of the most athletic players I've ever seen. And it's fun to kind of see that come to light, and everybody knows what she's capable of, and she's really just scratching the surface. So can't wait to see where it takes her.
Mikayla Timpson's 8 offensive rebounds in a single game moved her into 3rd place in Indiana Fever franchise history. In a game like this, those rebounds were even more valuable because each one gave Indiana an extra possession against a bigger Seattle front court. Every extra shot was a scoring chance the Fever might not have had otherwise, and Timpson created 8 of them by herself. Stephanie White's decision to give her the first start of her career against such a physical and talented front court showed real confidence. Timpson rewarded that trust by outworking players with far more size and experience.
Third most offensive rebounds.
What makes Timpson's record so remarkable is how different it was from the ones Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark set that night. There was no 17-point quarter or scoring explosion. Her record was built through effort, chasing loose balls, fighting for rebounds, and beating bigger, stronger players to the same spot again and again. It is a different kind of record, but just as valuable. Timpson also gave Indiana exactly what it needed on defense, switching onto both power forwards and centers and helping the Fever handle Seattle's size despite playing heavy minutes in her first career start. One unforgettable performance put her name in the Indiana Fever record books for good. And with both her name and Kelsey Mitchell's now in franchise history, it is finally time to talk about the record that stole the spotlight.
45 points. That's the most points by a Fever player in a game in franchise history. I know you're used to making history, but what does that one mean to you?
I mean, it's cool. I don't really care. And I know what I'm capable of, and I know what this team is capable of. And it's my job to help us win and be the best team in the WNBA, and I don't think we're there yet. So it's my responsibility to help us get there. So we'll keep working.
Well said. Thanks, Caitlin.
Thanks.
By the time Caitlin Clark checked out of the game, she had done something almost unbelievable. She erased her own name from the Indiana Fever record book and replaced it with an even bigger number. Clark entered the night holding the franchise record for the most points in a single game and left after breaking her own mark with 45 points. What made it even more impressive was how she scored them. This was not just a 3-point shooting display. Clark attacked the basket, earned trips to the free throw line, and knocked down 17 of her 19 free throws, both career highs. She spent the entire night putting pressure on the defense, drawing contact, and refusing to settle for outside shots. That aggressive approach against Seattle's size made the performance even more remarkable. 45 points now stands as the highest scoring game in Indiana Fever franchise history. After another record-breaking performance, Clark was asked what setting a new franchise scoring record meant to her. Somewhere during that incredible scoring performance, Caitlin Clark reached another historic milestone. She became the fastest player in WNBA history to make 200 career three-pointers, reaching the mark in just 74 games. The same performance also moved her into 5th place on the Indiana Fever's all-time list for made three-pointers, a climb that usually takes years. Her 45-point game ranks as the second highest scoring performance in the WNBA this season, behind only Marina Mabrey's 53-point outing. What truly sets Clark apart, though, is the position she plays. As a point guard, she is expected to create for teammates first, yet no point guard in WNBA history had ever scored 45 points in a game before. This was not just another scoring record. It redefined what people expect from the point guard position.
That's a great lane line drive.
Clark behind the backside, stepping, knocks down a three.
Got a feeling, Pat. Just have a feeling.
On defensive fouls from here, a real opportunity for Indiana. Clark with 15 points here on the night. Oh, she's feeling it!
And the most incredible part is that she did not even need a full game to accomplish it. Caitlin Clark played fewer than 30 minutes, and her 45 points in under 30 minutes is now the highest scoring performance in WNBA history with that little playing time. Most 40-plus point games require 38 or 40 minutes on the court, but Clark reached 45 in less time than most starters usually play. That one performance produced 6 different records, and that was before looking at the part of her stat line that had nothing to do with scoring. As remarkable as those 45 points were, they were not even the most unbelievable thing Caitlin Clark accomplished on July 17th.
We have had entire games in the WNBA without this much scoring. Clark answers! It's a good old-fashioned shootout here in Indy.
Again, the poise and composure experience of Heidemann.
Clark, a triple! Indiana trying to get Clark the ball, and they turn it over. Johnson with a steal. Johnson had it wrenched away. Clark knocked it off of Johnson. It's Fever basketball.
For most players, scoring 45 points would have been enough to make headlines. 5 points while still creating 10 more baskets for her teammates and controlling the offense from start to finish.
Those kind of numbers. Only Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, Luka Doncic, Cade Cunningham have done it in the NBA. Always so polished. Now, the players that we just read off the screen before we sent it out for that interview, you got Jordan, Wade, Dončić, Cunningham. But there's only one player on that list, now with Caitlin Clark on there as well, that did it in under 30 minutes.
That's crazy.
Put the whole line together. 45 points, 10 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks in one game. Only 4 players in basketball history, NBA or WNBA, have ever recorded a stat line like that. Michael Jordan's done it. So has Dwayne Wade, Luka Doncic, and Cade Cunningham. That's the entire list, and Clark just added her name to it.
This was also Caitlin Clark's 4th career game with at least 30 points and 10 assists. That number deserves attention because every other player in WNBA history combined has also recorded 4 such games. Clark has now matched that total by herself. She also continues to extend her streak of 20-point, 10-assist performances. And she made her impact on defense as well, finishing with 4 steals and 2 blocks, including a huge block on Flau'jae Johnson. On the very next possession, she came back down the floor and buried a go-ahead three-pointer. It was a game-changing sequence in a matchup Seattle kept fighting to the very end.
And I know Caitlin, she can't really toot her own horn, if you will, but it's the efficiency for me, so I can talk about it. CeCe went off, whether it was the passes on the inside. You look at 10 assists, that's hard enough to do, but the step back jumpers for me, we already know the logo can shoot from deep range. It was the step backs, it was some of the fadeaway shots. And what I love is that her teammates saw that she was hot, and what do? You feed the hot hand, and they continue to get her the ball, and she's such an unselfish player. The 10 assists, those players, her teammates, so lucky to have a player that can pass the ball as well as she does. But when she gets hot, it's great that they were able to find her as well. 45 points, one for the books, of course.
Now put the entire stat line together. Caitlin Clark finished with 45 points, 10 assists, 4 steals, and 2 blocks in a single game. Across NBA and WNBA history, only 4 players had ever produced a stat line like that: Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, Luka Doncic, and Cade Cunningham. Clark became the 5th. What makes it even more remarkable is that Jordan, Wade, Dončić, and Cunningham all played more than 40 minutes to reach those numbers. Clark did it in fewer than 30 minutes, and she still was not finished making history.
It's Cunningham, Clark, Mitchell, Timpson, Billings for Indiana. Cunningham into Timpson. Indiana trying to get Clark the ball, and they turn it over. Johnson with a steal. Johnson had it wrenched away. Clark knocked it off of Johnson. It's Fever basketball.
What a defensive play.
Now add together the points Caitlin Clark scored with the points she created through her assists. She finished responsible for 67 total points, the most ever created by a player in a single WNBA game. That broke Diana Taurasi's record of 65, which had stood since August 2006. Clark did not just surpass a legend's mark. She did it on the same night she joined Michael Jordan, Luka Doncic, Dwayne Wade, and Cade Cunningham in the record books. Yet despite 18 records falling, Indiana nearly let the game slip away whenever Clark went to the bench. The Fever built a strong lead, but Seattle kept battling back behind the inside play of Malina and Fagbenel. Every stretch without Clark became a challenge for Indiana. The third quarter was especially tense as Seattle's run turned a comfortable lead into a real battle. Stephanie White had to rely on her bench to steady the game while Clark rested, and for several minutes it looked like Indiana might lose control.
Johnson pokes it away.
Under 10.
Clark fires. And hits. Caitlin Clark doing it all.
Monique Billings made sure that did not happen. Late in the fourth quarter, with just over 3 minutes left, she came up with one of the biggest plays of the night by blocking Malina at the rim. It was the kind of defensive stop that kept a narrow lead from slipping away. Billings finished with a season-high 16 points, delivering on both ends when Indiana needed her most. Lexi Hull may not have filled the box score, but her impact was just as important. She helped hold the defense together during the minutes Caitlin Clark was off the floor, making the small plays that kept Indiana organized even when most fans were focused on the scoreboard. Seattle's entire game plan was built around making Caitlin Clark earn everything. They sent double teams as soon as she crossed half court, and the ball pressure never let up. But none of it mattered when the game was on the line because Clark had already solved every version of Seattle's defense. That is where the record-breaking performance connected directly to Indiana's win. Clark and Kelsey Mitchell combined for 75 points, the most ever scored by a duo in Indiana Fever franchise history. They also set the WNBA record for the most career 30-point games by a backcourt duo. Indiana survived every tough stretch because those same two guards settled the team when it mattered most. In all, 18 records fell that night, with 14 belonging to Caitlin Clark alone. Between her growing MVP campaign, Indiana's championship push, and a historic performance while still on a minutes restriction, Clark continues to raise the standard. Michael Jordan and Luka Doncic needed more than 40 minutes to produce a similar stat line. Clark did it in fewer than 30. So what happens when she is finally allowed to play a full game without restrictions? Let us know in the comments by writing Caitlin for MVP. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest stories and highlights. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.